Great. So I've named this webinar "How to Attract High-Paying Clients and Make 6 to 7 Figures Through Online Competitions." Given that this has worked really well in the upper echelon of my clients and attracting sort of high-paying clients, that doesn't mean that it doesn't work for a smaller paying clients and for smaller programs. It's just, whenever I put effort into doing something, I'm looking for the best return on my time invested. So that's where I've played with this, and it's worked very well at that level. Of course, we've sold smaller things of less than $500 through the same process as well. So all the way up to $25,000 US dollars. So that kind of gives you a range of where we played with this, and you'll see some of those examples as we go through. So I promised you today is that I'm going to show you how I've generated 6 figures in 14 separate occasions through online competition. I'm not going to show you all those 14 different occasions. I'm going to talk to you about a number of them. I'm going to share some stories on how it came about and what we did and how we made that successful. What it doesn't say over here is that we've had a number of other occasions where we've made very little, and we put a lot of effort in to try different things that we thought were totally obvious to do as part of the competition. And that's the second promise, is that I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to talk to you about how I made as little as $40,000 US dollars when just about everything failed. That said, there was all of that time invested in that. So as much as we still came out with a financial return on it, time invested and effort-wise, I wouldn't put that up into a profitable experience. However, massively profitable from the perspective of the learning that we can now obviously show. And we've done that many competitions over the last 1.5 years, and out of that, probably about 20 to 25% of them really failed at this kind of level. And you don't need to be putting yourself in that position. So I'm going to be talking to you about some of the keys that we found that work really well. What we found with this model was quite extraordinary, and one of them was, well, the first one that we realized was that, and for many years I'd been trying to work out how to reach my target market and do that more effectively. And it was a challenge. It was a struggle to kind of work that out and get it going. And each time there was so much money we invested in each strategy and in each process. And sometimes we never got it right. In fact, quite often we never got it right. It was the 1 in 10 times that we actually got, yeah, that's the one that's working. Let's go with that. And we'd increase the intensity around that. This one here did it right off the bat. It was able to reach a target market that I would otherwise really struggle to actually reach, and it turned basically this unreachable market into a flood of qualified inquiries. And I'll talk to you about exactly how it does that. But it was pretty phenomenal how that it just suddenly in my inbox were these inquiries coming in every single day. And over a week or 2 weeks, we get hundreds of these inquiries coming in just whilst we're running this process. This one was really amazing, and this one we actually got this back from the feedback from our clients that we did work with, that the people who are buying, a lot of them were people who are fence sitters, and this used to be one of my biggest struggles in my own business, was that. We used to run lots of events, and we'd have these people showing up over and over and over again to the same events, and they weren't buying anything. It was just like they were showing up, but they just weren't putting the time and effort in to really get what this could mean to them, and again, not committing to actually taking a step forward. So that became a real challenge in my business. So it was a delight when we saw that, which turned people who are sitting on the fence, who had been watching in and been going, yeah, I'd love to do that, and it's not ready, or whatever their stuff was around that, to now them putting up their hand eagerly, waiting for the call, ready to make a buying decision. So that was really interesting. So if that's some of your experiences. You've got some of that. This is going to be a really fabulous process to do that as well with. And then this last process here, which was really a slow and heavy sales process, which that's how I kind of term it, which is like you have to go out, you have to go find your market, you have to work with them, all kind of one-on-one, show up continuously, get in front of them one-on-one, do consults, and then at some stage you might put a quote forward or whatever, a proposal forward, and then they would make a decision. And you can do that, and you can. A lot of people run a very, very successful businesses that way. However, the amount of time and effort to do that is massive. So I'm always looking for smarter ways of doing that. And this really allowed me to compress my sales process, my sales efforts into really about a 2 to 3 week time frame that was highly leveraged. Had hundreds of people coming through there, and again, these people are waiting and excited about getting involved and actually doing this with you. In fact, quite often in the sales conversation, which is actually not a sales conversation, it's really a service or an order taking conversation. Quite often, a big thing is to kind of try and calm the person down to a level where they can actually hand you their credit cards and actually move forward with it, because they're just so excited about the whole way that the competition is run. And we all love, let's admit it, we all love winning stuff. We love to get great deals. We love to compete and against ourselves, essentially. Put effort in and go up against other people potentially, in awards or accolades or whatever it is might be. We like to elevate ourselves, and we love to win or get the acknowledgement of that effort that we put in. So this does that really, really beautifully. All right, so let's go through what I'd love to talk to you about today. I'm going to go through the 6 competition success matrix. I'm going to show you the mechanics of a high profit competition. Like, what does it do to, what do you need to do to actually make it work? And these are all the matrix that I play with. And I'm going to show you this 9 competition modules, of which 6 of them we do very, very well, and 3 of them are the traditional competition models that you'll recognize every day. How to create a compelling offer. This is valuable in any part of your business. Anything that you're going to be doing, any campaign, any promotion, this is going to be highly valuable for you, no matter if the competition model is for you or not. How do you actually create a compelling offer is going to really give you some insights. The biggest mistakes I've seen that we made, as well as the ones that we've seen our clients make, and this again is highly valuable to any marketing campaign. All right, and if you stay till the end, I'm going to share with you how you can have me promote your business to my network. That is something that I absolutely am committed to. My biggest value is around really connecting and shining the light on people. And for those of you who would love to actually have that and allow me to do that for you and your business, stick around to the end. All right, challenges I've encountered. There's been a really interesting journey. I've built multiple businesses over the last 25 years since I started as an entrepreneur in school, and took that to uni, and then took that, actually dropped out and actually built our first businesses. I've done a number of really good things in building some of those businesses. I've sold businesses, I've raised capital for businesses, and we've grown businesses from nothing to $5 million turnover companies, and really enjoyed that entire journey. However, the biggest challenges I had was in 2009, and this kind of came off the back of the global financial crisis, GFC, and I was over leveraged or over exposed is probably the better word for this, and so the big thing that happened here is I was overexposed in probably too many different areas, and I probably didn't have the right advice, or if I did, I wasn't listening. So I had my first company, which was my primary business, which is Platform Interactive, which was 10, 15 years in the making. Something we built from South Africa into Australia, and we've purchased other companies under that brand, and it was a really large part of my life. That company and all of its employees closed down and shut down in 2009, and I went, oh, okay, that's interesting. I had, at the same time, I had a co-working space called My Headquarters, my HQ, and I'd been running that for just over a year, year and a half, and with all of the things that happened with the property and everything else, I had to shut that one down, and that closed and collapsed. I had this 12-unit development, and of course, we were right in the middle of that, and the property side and financing and all the stuff, and people's appetite for purchasing property was all knocked. So that closed, and we had to liquidate that. And then my own personal investment properties were unfortunately all in jeopardy, so those went as well. So I got to kind of the end of 2009 with like a kind of like a dog with its tail between its legs, and moping and upset and whatever else on what had happened, and all sorts of challenges that showed up around all this. But what I got out of it was that I was clear that that had to happen for me to actually wake up and look at setting up different structures and different ways that I actually set up our businesses. So what I did at that stage was I went and decided to give my help to a really a mentor of mine at the time, who was actually helping me to restructure and get out and resolve and clean up the mess of that 2009 collapse. And I started working with him, and I went over to the Gold Coast, and basically for 10 months I helped promote him, helped the good people into his events. I got the amazing privilege to sit and work with about 100 odd people who were going through a similar thing that I was going through. And with his guidance, I was able to help a lot of people out of debt and out of really sticky situations. However, working in an environment like this really didn't work well for me. I live in Bali. We have extraordinary view out here of the swimming pool and rice paddy fields and beautiful coconut trees, and my yearning of getting out of the office after 10 months was greater than staying. So after 10 months, I decided to leave, and I left Australia. I jumped on a plane and actually came and made a decision to come live in Bali. So we did that, and when we got to Bali, we had a whole bunch of opportunities show up. And this was one of the opportunities, which was a thing called the Green Super Camp, which was a joint venture between the Green School and a company in the US called Super Camp. Super Camp is actually the biggest summer, what they call it, the summer teenage leadership camp in the world. They have these camps running all around the world all the time, and it's quite an extraordinary journey. It's 7 days for kids. So we were there, and I was asked to represent and help promote and get this off the ground. This was the first time we were running this, and we had some targets we needed to hit, and we had we'd been going for about 2 to 3 months in our marketing. We had about 30 odd people registered, and we needed another 5 or 6 people to basically get into to get onto the program for us to make at least a profit on that, or at least break even and make a profit. And basically we're sitting down. There's 2 weeks to go, or even less than 2 weeks, and literally we were holding our heads, going, what is possible here? What can we do? What can we create? And what we did was we kind of were going through different brainstorming things, and I had this kind of thought around a number of different things that I'd noticed different people do in different ways. And I basically kind of just put them all on a piece of paper and kind of link them together and said to the group, why don't we do something like this, which is basically a competition, and let's run a competition to give one of these extraordinary programs away, and let's do that. And what, as a second prize, let's give away a 50% voucher or scholarship, really, to the program. And I'll run it. I'll run it out to all the people who have been most interactive over the last few months, and let's see if we can reinvigorate some interest. Because at that time, now there had been a couple of weeks where there really wasn't any interaction. There was no inquiries coming through. It had literally gone to crickets. So so the team kind of looked at me. They weren't all that keen, to be totally honest with you. And I said to them, well, we're at this stage. I'm gonna give something. I'm gonna give this a try. I have no idea if it's going to work, but let's put that together. So I basically sculpted an email, which was a very long email, which was probably 4 or 5 pages long, because I didn't have enough time to build a website and a landing page and all these things. I just went, I'm going to write it all in an email. I'm going to give them. This is going to be the marketing piece, and I wrote an email. Put the invite into the competition up there. Win a scholarship for for your child to attend Green Super Camp. And I sent that out and gave people 24 hours to register. That's it. I didn't have any more time. 24 hours, register here. Within 24 hours, I had 12 applications. And the most amazing thing was when I closed the competition and I started reading those applications, I was in a state of, I was just in a mess. I was in breakdown on the first one. The tears were flooding. I was reading this life story and the stuff that had happened for this lady and her child, and how she was explaining how this kind of program would make such a huge difference to her child's life. And it was extraordinary. It really touched my heart. I was like, wow, I hope the rest of these aren't like this. Of course, the rest of them were pretty similar. They were really deep. People really opened their hearts. They really wanted their children to come along there, and they wanted them to win. So got to the end of reading all 12, and chose the first one, which happened to be the first one I'd read as first place, 100% scholarship, and had the call with them. And it was one of those extraordinary calls, which was like, oh my goodness, I could have these calls every day of my life. I then put the announcement out of the first winner, and I then got on the call and actually started speaking to the other applicants who had just put their heart and soul into it. And after 7 calls, I had 5 people who accepted their second place award. And I went, that's it, great, finished, and had the payments and everything else done. And that was in 1 day, completed the whole lot. So here's the stats over here, 12 entries. I went out to about 400 odd people, by the way, 400 and I think about 470 odd people. And basically, out of those people, 12 people had entered overnight. And from that, I'd had seven phone calls and 5 sales, like really high conversion rate. And by the way, this is a strategy that we've continued to use for Green Super Camp, all the way into Australia and out of Bali over the time because of the success of this very first one. So there we go, for $7,500 in 48 hours. There was this moment which was like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And I had this epiphany of, wow, if I could do this with a program like that, and I could reactivate a whole bunch of people in my database who no longer were interested in the promotions that I was doing, and I was trying everything. Then maybe this is a strategy that could work right up front, as well as potentially could work on other things. So I thought to myself, what's the next program, and I wonder if we could test it on there. So I did. I went out, and the next program was this one that we're running, and I've been the facilitator for this program, or was currently the facilitator for that program, and it's called iLab. It's a 30-day business incubator. It's a Roger Hamilton Entrepreneur Institute program, and I'd been brought in again. I was there, and Roger asked me to help him, start this program and get it off the ground and facilitate it and all that. So I was doing that for him, we had done one promotion out already to on an event into Australia, and I think we'd made like 30 odd sales in that, and that was great to fill a couple of the events. But we wanted to run these almost every month over the year. So went out to the database of people who had been following Roger and some of the things that we'd been doing. So some of the events, and people who were part of the network, and people who bought some of the other things. And we ran the competition for the Impact Entrepreneur Award. Really interesting thing that happened here was, people started registering very, very quickly. And of course, this is a totally different industry. This is business people rather than parents wanting their kids to go on a leadership camp. These are business owners going, wow, I'd like to be awarded for the impact that I'm making in my business, and more so, I'd love to attend the 30 days in Bali, all expenses paid essentially. We ran that out again to probably a few thousand people that one. So 80 odd registrations. I can't actually see that on my screen, but I remember it being about 80 odd registrations. There were 84 registrations, 84 leads, we got onto them straight after that for the second place award people, and after a couple of weeks of connecting with them and interacting and getting on calls and having chats to them, we had 22 sales completed, and $107,000 in value for all of those programs that we just sold. And I went, wow, this is really interesting again, because obviously we've taken a little bit more time in this. We've set up nice landing pages and done it differently, but essentially got a similar kind of result from this that we got from the first one. Not the conversion rates, because obviously we're talking about a whole different price point, however, very, very high conversion rates, no matter which way you look at it. Given that I didn't have to show up in front of those people, and we compressed that into about a 2-week sales and order taking process. So I kind of went, wow, okay, that worked again. What else is possible? Where else can we try it? So we tried it on the next industry, which was an obvious one for me, which was a friend of mine, Tyler Tolman. Went straight in, and we spoke to Tyler, and we had seen that he was just finishing his tour in Australia. We said to him, hey, Tyler, let's help run some campaigns for you, and let's potentially run this competition. So we ran this competition to the people who'd come to his Health Vibe tour, and essentially we went out to on this occasion to the people who hadn't purchased anything, who had come along, and there was about 800 people who had done that. So we sent out a marketing piece, an invite to this competition. And you'll see the graphics and stuff like this are relatively, they're a bit old. This was a couple of years ago, but the whole point was the energy and the connection and the intention of this was really to connect with those people who obviously Tyler hadn't been able to do in that environment, and who potentially wanted to buy and just really needed the right reason to talk to somebody. But quite often those environments aren't really open for people to actually connect with the speaker, for sure. So So we ran the competition out. We had over 200 odd, the 280, I can't see that either. And 200 odd people register for this one, to those 800. And we got on calls again, and within a couple of weeks again, we had $94,000 in sales to the people who hadn't bought anything. So, just rounded off another $100,000 to his sales efforts, to his program, his event that he had run. And this didn't cost him anything. He didn't have to show up on stage. He didn't have any airline tickets. He didn't have all of his team he had to look after, and all of the logistics and all the stuff that comes with that. This was literally 100% run as an online campaign, and really quite effortless in the way that it runs. We then followed it up straight away to a snippet of his database, a few thousand people on his database, just a small segment of people who had opted in within the last six or so months, and basically we went out with a very, very similar competition, very similar prize and everything else, and this one here attracted about 500 people to register, and again we got on and had some conversations with these people over the next 2 weeks, and we closed off on the 23rd of December that year, and we had, between the two we had run back to back 86 sales and over $270,000 in income that these campaigns had created, just 2 quick campaigns of the back of each other. And we went, wow, that was pretty spectacular. And of course, we now continue to do these every year with and sometimes twice or 3 times a year, or 4 times a year, or 6 times a year, as one of our clients does. So looked at all sorts of different ways as well, of increasing and doing things differently, and having it work in a way that I thought would work really well. And some of them failed really interestingly. We had essentially, for the time invested, a very small return, and learned a lot of lessons along that way over the last 4.5, 5 years, and found a certain process that works every single time, and when we follow that every single time to each one of the specifications of how you set it up, it's a foolproof system. It's really, really fantastic. So I had huge success with that. So realized that it worked again, and it was really an exciting time, because we put together the package, and we then started marketing that to clients, and clients pay now north of 20,000 Australian dollars for the service. However, that's not really affordable for all the clients, and of course there's only so many of these competitions we want to run physically ourselves as a service provider, so probably about half a dozen a year, and we're very, very picky with who we want to work with, of course, because we want to do as much as we can to really maximize our time and return on our time invested as well. So I wanted to put a program together to help other businesses, because I could see that they could achieve the same results if they just followed the system. So that's kind of where we got to with putting this program together, this product together, which is called the competition profit model. And basically, this was to say, if we could do this ourselves as successfully as we do, then anyone can. I could do it as one person with really, really simple technology. Follow the process really to a T, and I could do that in a few days, essentially. Of course, we'll take you through a process which is far more educational and far more powerful, because we now are able to do these even better. But this is what I'm saying, is that this technology I wanted to get out to greater audience, and at an investment level that pretty much anyone in any business would totally justify as being a great investment for their business. So just a quick question. This is obviously some of the big reasons why potentially you're on this call, and most of the marketing around this is talking about this side. So let me just get a quick show of hands. Is this you? Is this some? Or these are the couple of things that you're struggling with? Attracting your leads, and then making consistent sales in a leveraged way. Not this one-on-one, time-consuming drive to their office, sit with them type. There's some really compressed sales processes where that you can have that running consistently every single month or every quarter, that fills up your entire business with clients. Is this you? If that's you, then pop your hand up. Fantastic. Thank you for your honesty. So yeah, if that's where you're at, then quite potentially this is going to be something that's going to help solve those issues. So then let's take you through some of the things that actually make this work. So I want to talk to you about the matrix, and this is the matrix that we've put together, which basically is a way that we work out the statistics around setting up and reaching our targets for any competition. And basically, it comes to this: to be able to increase the temperature of your list from cold to warm to hot is all going to make a difference. And I'm going to give you an example of a warm list. How do we increase enrollments to the actual competition? And we've got that down to a pretty cool science and templated as well. How do we increase their interaction with us? Then setting appointments and getting ready and doing stuff so that when we get on the call with them, they are ready. And we've got that really working well as well. And then how do we increase our conversations? Because we know that the conversations will lead to sales. So given that we have enough conversations and we have a great process to take people through, then we know that the conversion rate is going to make a big difference to our numbers. And then what can we do to maximize the profit of each sale? How do we actually package up what we're selling so that we can actually make a solid profit from each sale? And that on its own, just working that out, how you actually put your pricing model together, you package things up and what else is really invaluable for any business. And I'm going to talk to you about that, by the way. So here's an example of this is interesting. It's all shown up like that. Let's pop that in there. Here's an example of a warm database and some stats around that. So with a warm list, like, and this could be people on your database. These could be really your partners that you're working with, who already have a really strong relationship with their database, and they're inviting their people in, because that then the credibility is coming in from them. These are the kind of stats you can kind of use. 5% engagement, 30% enrollment to the page. So people actually hit the page. 30% of them actually enroll and apply to a standard kind of competition. Interaction rate, which is 80%, people actually booking appointments and letting us know if they want it or if they don't, whatever it might be. 80% contact with those people, because sometimes you just can't get hold of them within the timeframes that you're running. And if people put their appointments off or can't make their appointment or miss calls and whatever else, and this is the number 80%, which is a good number to kind of work with. And then from the conversations we actually have, we have about a 40% conversion rate, which is really awesome from the perspective that we're not sitting in front of every one of those people. We're not actually going anywhere. We've got it all kind of processed and ready to go, and we're on a phone call, and it works really, really well. People are ready to buy, and basically our job is to direct them on the process to follow, and alleviate any of their concerns, and deal with any issues that are showing up for them. but essentially, most of it's order taking. So using those percentages, if you were going out to a warm list or multiple lists, coming up to about 5,000 people with some really close partners who already have been working with you and forming their list about the stuff that you do. So at 5,000 people, out of those 5,000, and this is a one pass on that. You're looking for about an engagement of 250 people, and out of that, enrollment of about 75 people on the page for this. And we've got so many examples of that stat being absolutely true. An interaction rate, which is 80% of 60 people out of that actually interacting with us and actually doing something, and then contacting and actually speaking and having taking orders and dealing with the various things with 50 people. And out of those 50 people, 20 of them will give you their credit cards and go, I'm in, let's go, let's do this. And if you did a campaign like that very simply, you could be aiming and targeting at around about a $40,000 profit on a $2,000 profit per sale product. And you'd be selling that potentially for $3,000 or $4,000 or maybe even $5,000. And that would be a pretty typical statistic for you to work on a relatively warm list. Now, hot lists are another level of this. You can more than double that kind of profit from hot lists, as we did with the Tyler campaign to 4,000 of his people, and we did $170,000 with that. So how many times of that? So you can imagine when lists are hot and they come to events or they're really into what you're doing, you can really expect really a high conversion rate and a really great profit, and of course having a whole bunch of new clients joining you. Let's talk about the competition models. I'm just going to throw them all up. The first one there is the profit models, and that's what I've been talking to you about so far. These are new product launches, and I say new product launches on top of an existing product base. Relaunches of products, or relaunches of products that may not have been running for a while, and event follow-up. So going off the back of a live event or webinar series or an online summit or something like that. These are great to follow up on all of those. Positioning models, and these are the traditional stuff that we don't get involved in, but these are the ones that you'll see in your shopping centers and everything else, which are charity raising models and media, and they're demonstrating their wares and they're getting people kind of awareness of who they are and what they're doing. So we don't actually look at that at all, and hence why potentially those models are well, quite often when I talk to people, that's the model they're thinking about. When I talk to them about a competition, they're thinking about it being kind of set up that way. But these are very, very different. And then we have the other side of things, which is a separate model called our gift model, which is for people who are kind of new in the market, who want to build and tap into new markets. You're looking to build your database, your members, and you're looking to create partners with your business. And in that same process, off the back of that, it's a whole education process, because this is all about the initial person coming into your funnel and you nurturing them through that. And this is a separate module that we run for the competition gift model. We actually ran one just recently in December, just for Christmas, with 12 other partners, and hundreds of people came through that, and through the nurture and through the process that we followed up on, we've had thousands of dollars in sales of this program to those people. And I wasn't even looking to make sales of this. I was just really looking to tap in and actually connect in with a new audience, and of course add value to the partners that we already had. So choosing those 12 other. Let's talk about the compelling offer, because this is what makes or breaks any great campaign. So from the perspective of considering what you have today, what kind of products you have, who your audience is, and how you're marketing and stuff like that. consider that this is, in this next process, you could just tweak potentially some of the things that you're doing with that right now. So so the first part of understanding how to put a compelling offer together is, number one, understand your audience. Know who you're talking to. Like, really, this is like crazy that, when I sit with our clients, they don't actually know this. So know who they are and know what they want. And they may be an existing industry, so then that's easy. Or if it's new industries or new things that you're doing, get really clear and find out what they want. Ask them. Run a few experimental promotions, and then ask for their feedback off the back of that to find out if that's something they wanted. Value up. This is the big stuff that I love. This is where you start packaging things together. You start increasing your profit, increasing the perceived value of what you're offering. And what's really lovely about this is it doesn't even have to be your product. You can actually find partners who will throw their things in and packaging it up together so that your product, is far more valuable to an audience who wants to come and actually, work with you. So valuing up actually is, just consider right now what products and services you have right now, and think about how you could value that up. Things that you could just throw in there, that would be amazing value for other people. And it might be you might be that you don't actually have something to throw in there. So consider what you could create as part of that, which could be something like a 12 webinar series, or an ebook series, or a podcast series, or whatever it might be that you give them access to in an environment where they can get a whole bunch more value just by coming in and actually working with you. The third one is what are the prizes to offer? What's your first prize going to be? What's your second prize going to be? What is it that people would look at and go, wow, that's something I'd really love to win. I'd love to enter that competition. For some of us, we kind of look at our things and go, oh, maybe people really wouldn't want to win my service or my product or whatever else. Well, if that's the case, they probably don't want to buy it either. So let me give you a clue. If you're not feeling confident about your own products and services, then don't go and do this at all. At least come and have a chat to us about potentially how you could value that up, and we could work with you on that as a start. Because basically, this part is a big part of the attraction to people actually coming in and entering your competition. Who here remembers there's an amazing competition run a few years ago. This is probably 8, 9, maybe 10 years ago in Australia. It was run by the Queensland government for the greatest job in the world, and it was the caretaker of Hamilton Island. Who remembers that? Just pop on and raise your hand. There's a little raise hand thing, or just pop onto the Q&A and say, yes, I do. Who remembers that amazing campaign? Because that went viral. That was really, one of the best, viral competitions I've ever seen. And they weren't expecting that, but it got picked up by news all around the world. It was in newspapers, and it got such huge leverage off the back of that. And they had hundreds and hundreds of applications come in, and they had quite some heavy criteria for people to even put the application in, because they wanted to be able to evaluate if the people sound like the right one person. So yeah, that's a real great example of whenever we're looking at prizes to offer and how to value up, we're thinking about that kind of outcome, which is what could make this even viral. So really getting clear on that, and then the second prize essentially would be in the competition bubble, it's going to be a certain award, cash award towards it, or it's going to be something that's going to give them a better the value of the program at a low cost, essentially. So they're going to win some kind of sponsorship, scholarship, award, cash, whatever towards that. And then how many of each one of these prizes you want to give away? So you make a decision. You decide, do I want to give away, 5 or 10. Like, the very first one I had was I only was looking for 5 people. So once I hit my 5, I'd done. So if you're looking for 10 new clients off the back of this, then let's keep that to 10 clients, and let's keep it nice and tight and limited. And that way, you can people don't feel like it's a free for all. They get that this is what's on offer. This is what's they can win as being one of those top 10 people in your competition. So that's how you run a compelling offer. So I wanted to then take you through some of the mistakes that we've made over the last few years of running these, and of course mistakes we've seen our clients do, because we've got some of our top clients now running their own competitions, and just in fact one this month ran a competition, was running a competition, and I noticed that they had made a whole bunch of things that we've seen don't work, and that confuses the audience and everything else. And they try to be too smart. They're trying to maximize all of the stuff that they thought would be highly valuable, to encouraging people to do it, and it actually hasn't hit off at all well, and they're struggling to get registrations. So I can still see people doing that. And the only reason is because they're going off the process and the system that we know works every single time in a certain way, and we know which ones don't work because we've worked with so many different versions of this that we've seen what works and what doesn't work. So number one mistake is not clearly knowing who their market is. Not understanding who your target market is, what they want, what they're looking for. All that stuff that kind of goes around, being able to get your message in front of somebody who then goes, well, that's exactly the kind of thing I'd love to have. This is one of the biggest mistakes with your messaging. If you don't get this right, your messaging will not attract them. It won't actually, connect with them. They won't see the value in doing this. Biggest mistake number 2 is this lovely one, which is our creative people on the call today, which is they go out and they create this beautiful, amazing product, and they've never actually tested it out and seen if it's even wanted or is desirable in the market, and they're just hoping magically that somebody will actually buy it or will actually come. So that is our biggest, for me, the second biggest mistake that I see, and when we have conversations with various clients, sometimes we find them in that position where they've got all these amazing looking products, but they actually have no clients because they don't, or they're really struggling to get clients, and they really, their whole process is convincing people that they need it, rather than people going, oh, totally get that, this is absolutely something I want. So that part there, don't make the mistake of going out and actually making a product without actually really understanding what your market wants. In fact, let me put it this way. There's one of my mentors, Joanna Martin, said to me, and she speaks about this, from her program. She's a stage speaker and teaches that. She says, never build anything until you've presented it to a market. Go out, get a room of 5, 10, 15 people, present it to them and get their feedback, and understand what the feedback is, tweak it, and go out and do it again. And until you've really got something where people are going, wow, that's amazing, I absolutely want that, then no point in building it. Get a whole bunch of clients in first, and then roll it out, and then develop it around those clients, develop around the feedback you get. Pretty much how I'm going to be doing, as I'm doing with this program right now, and I'll give you a little insight into that in a moment. But we don't build anything until we have a number of clients to actually work with, hold their hand, see what shows up, and work with them and make sure that that we've covered all of the stuff that shows up in the training. Number 3, wasting money on ads that don't work. So I wonder if I can go back. There we go. So wasting time on ads that don't work. I call this the fee to pay for dumb marketing. And really it's a lot of people kind of get caught up in this, and I've been there as well. I don't have to go for, too many years back, maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago, where we were kind of out of ideas on how to market some of our businesses, and we went and we kind of tapped, try to pay for ads and whatever else, and we found that we spent a lot of money putting out ads, which just wasted our time. So we literally got nothing back from them. We probably didn't have the actual structure of an ad correct. In fact, thinking back at what we wrote on those ads, there was nothing desirable for anybody to even interact with them. So, wasting money on ads, hoping that you can put an ad in front of a target audience and get it there, and they're going to just jump on. It works. It works in some industries really well, but most of the time, I see people spending a lot of money and throwing it away by trying to go the advertising route, and that's because they haven't got any other ideas on how to reach their market, other strategies to do. So I'm going to talk to you about that as well. Trying to build funnels that try and sell straight up front, and this is all about building value. Understanding how to build value with the audience. So I've got my phone ringing, and it sometimes jumps onto my computer, so I want to turn it off. So if you've been in a position where you want to build a funnel, and you want to basically try and convert that person straight away into a sale, and you've actually test driven that, I would love to find out who here has got that right up front, and actually being able to sell to a cold audience in one page quite effortlessly. Because usually I don't get any hands, and again, no hands. So this here, I really find the big stuff here is around people seeing the value, actually spending some time with them, giving them some more value, and building that value with them, so that when you do make an offer, and when you do show them what's possible for them by working with you, they go, well, that's great. There's some trust there. There's an acknowledgement that there's some value that they could get over here. So if they paid you, then there's obviously more value that they're going to get as well. So this idea of building funnels that sell without actually really giving value, and taking the time to nurture those people is I find that mostly with desperate businesses who just I just need to get some money now and just need to make a sale and stuff like that. So that's really where that shows up. And we've had a few clients in the position working with us, and we had to kind of give them a reality check. And then this last one, which is one of the biggest ones, which is trying to work it all out ourselves. I love to look at systems and processes that are already proven ones, and just duplicate them. And we've used a whole bunch of different marketing strategies and processes and techniques in the past, which work really well. And in fact, what we've got with the competition profit model is actually using a lot of those different fundamentals of marketing and sales that have made this as successful as it is. We tap into the best minds out there, and we use parts of their models and stuff like that's supporting this being such a great product. And then trying to do it all themselves. So actually, first of all, trying to work it out, go, oh, I can do that, I can work it out. And then, having all the failures they do, and, then having to get back up and try it again and try it again. Don't need to do that. If somebody else has already worked out, just use their system. Just get on there and, go and read, read up on how they do it. If they've got a book, or get on their education programs, go and do it. And then don't try and do it all yourself. Make sure that, your commitment is to create a team around you. And something that this model has done really, really well for me is that it's helped, and for our clients, is that it instantly increases your attraction to other people wanting to work with you. So I'll give you an example of this. We have people who will introduce us to their networks and to their partners and stuff like that. And they'll do that basically just on an affiliate fee. I have salespeople who show up continuously to our business, wanting to work with us and be part of our sales team, and they come in purely on commission. We have people who want to work with us from the perspective of helping us with design and marketing and stuff like that, because they see the opportunity to learn a process that they don't currently know themselves. So they'll give their time and effort into working with us so they can actually learn all that process and actually support us. So that doesn't mean that we don't have a whole bunch of people as well employed and stuff like that. We do, but we didn't have to right up front, because the model and the value of this attracted the people that I needed and I wanted to be part of that. So it helps you stop doing that if that's something that you have been doing. So really what I want to do just quickly now, because we've been going for about an hour, and I just want to just acknowledge everybody who's on the call and just say, I know it's Friday night or Saturday morning for wherever you are in the world, and I want to acknowledge you for taking the time out and spending it with me for the last hour, and give you an opportunity to consider that if this is for you, then stick around and stick on the call. And again, I'm going to also show you, for those of you who are going to stay around, I'm going to show you and talk to you about how I can actually be marketing you and your business to my partners and to my database. So yeah, I want to give you an opportunity to consider that. If this is something that you've been going through in the last hour and going, what, I can see how I could do this, I can see how this could work, or I'm really curious because maybe I can't see it, but I'd love to have it working for my business, then and you'd love to hear some more, then stick around for the next probably 15 minutes. And for everybody else, I bid you farewell. I want to say thank you so much for your time and for your interaction so far with me, and love to see you on your journey, and hope that you have all the success that you deserve. All right, we're going to continue with everybody who wants to stick around and have a look at how this works. Great, a whole bunch of people still here, which is always great. All right, so how do we work together? Three primary steps. Number one, or processes that we go through. Number one, we sit down, we work out and clarify the goals for a potential competition. And this could be a number of sales, it could be a financial goal, it could be a mixture of all those. Just get really, really clear on your goals for that. And it might be that you want to reach a new market, or I have no partners and I really love a partner base, because my goal is to, and this is one of our clients right now, I've got a new book coming out and I want to make it a bestseller, so I want to get a whole bunch of partners and enroll them and build my network and my database over the next 2 to 3 months, so that when I launch my book, it becomes a bestseller. So that was her goals. So what are your goals? What could be your goals? What would be your totally irresistible prize? This thing that people just go, wow, I absolutely want that. And again, you do not have to have all of that yourself in your own programs and products and services. You can bring those in through partnerships as well. We'll show you how to do that. What is your financial target and your reach required? Like really, if you want to make this amount of money, this is how much profit that you have on each one, then how many people would you need to reach so that the matrix actually works for you to actually achieve that? So we go through the whole matrix to work that out. And that gets really, really simple, because then you know exactly what you have to do to do that. And then what is your go-to-market strategy? Do you want to run some ads? You're going to connect with partners. You're going to obviously go to your database of people who are current clients. What is that strategy, and what is going to be the most appropriate for what you're looking to do, and that's going to help you achieve those goals. Then we create your competition, and we get down to like the actual title. What is it that we could, if we're running ads, or if we're running messaging to partner databases, then what would that attractive title be that people go, wow, that sounds amazing, I want to be in that. And then what's your entry criteria? And entry criteria really varies on different competitions that we run, from as simple as your name and your email, all the way to very specific. How many years have you been in business? What's the impact that you've made in the last year to your community? What is it that you're looking to achieve in the next 12 months with your business? And how could being part of this program assist you in achieving those goals? So you could have a whole bunch of them, and if you want really high quality people joining yours, really top quality, and you're going to get I promise you'll get a much higher conversion rate from that as well. Then you can be actually quite heavy on that, and have them jump through a whole bunch of hoops to actually get in there. And of course that helps you when you're judging the applications. So what is your entry criteria? What kind of competition are you running? So it could be it's a scholarship, or it might be an award, or whatever it might be. And then what sales strategy would be the most appropriate to these people? And then we of course we work with our sales team. We bring my sales manager in, and we work with you on a sales script that's going to help you really take people on a very gentle consultative style conversation, which falls into them literally going, yes, I'm in, let's go, there's my credit card, when do I get started? So we create the competition, and then we set some dates. Nothing like setting dates to make it real. Because now that you've got the dates, then everything else has to then fit into that to actually make it work. And essentially we run this, most of our competitions we run from start to finish in around 6 weeks. You'll see that I've basically built that as well for you to make sure that if you want to do this, that we can roll that up through to potentially 8 weeks, give you a bit more time to kind of work things out and stuff like that. So launch date, announcement date, and close date are all of the primary dates you want to know up front, because then that sets up all of the other things that you then can put inside of your plan of this needs to be done by this, and we have to have the partners enrolled by this date, etc., etc., etc. So those dates make it real. It puts it on the calendar, and it sets up everything to make this a success for you. So that's the primary way that we work with all of our clients, to just kind of get them going. And of course, from there, everything else kind of falls off the back of that. So again, I just want to check in with those of you who are still on the call, because I want to just check in. The primary reason that essentially most of you said you came here was because you're either struggling with attracting leads, or challenged with making sales consistently and in a compressed leverage way. So just want to check in. Is that still the case with everybody who's on the call? Great, cool. All right. So I want to quickly go over this again, because this is really, really important. This part here is really about, again, just getting clear on where this works really well. So this competition model really, really works well if you are struggling to reach your target market, and that means it means that maybe you haven't had worked out how to reach them through the channels that they're showing up with, or the places that they're showing up, whatever it might be that you're struggling with. What this process does, this model does, is helps you. Oh, what happened to the thing over there? Well, what it's supposed to say is an abundance of leads coming in, and maybe that will show up in a moment. The other part over here, which is people sitting on the fence. This is really interesting. When people are sitting on the fence, they're watching you, they've been around, they're in your network, they know what you do, but they're not actually committing to anything. This is probably one of the coolest things, is that it gets people out of that inaction into action, and having them eagerly putting their hand up, saying, I'm ready for a call, let's go. So that really gets people into action, which was a great find with this. And then this whole slow, heavy process of really following people up and sitting in front of them and going through consultation and putting quotes and all that stuff, which is slow and time-consuming process, into this really, really tight 2-week frame process that really is an effortless conversation and invitation for people to take action and to become part of your organization and buy the product that obviously they've been looking for. There it is. A lot of boilerplate. So I'm not too sure what happened there. But yeah, these are the primary things that this does so well. So if any of those again are things that you've been kind of looking at going, these are some of our biggest challenges, then this could quite potentially be something that you could utilize and incorporate into your your quarterly style marketing process, which a lot of our clients are doing now. Every quarter they're running a competition. Okay, so what I want to do is quickly go through what we've created, and I kind of mentioned earlier that we're designing and developing this product as one that we roll out as an education program, because of course we can't keep doing, or we can't work for everybody and run the whole competition for you. So this allows us to really get to a broader audience. And what we've done is we've set up our first pilot, and our first pilot essentially is this. It's the whole competition profit model, 8-week live online coaching. So I'm in Bali. You don't have to come over to Bali. We're not going to come over to you. So it's live online. It means that I can connect in. We've got people from as far as Ireland, connecting in with us, and as close as Australia, connecting in and actually learning this on this first pilot rollout. And we are hands in. We're sleeves rolled up, and we're in it, because this is our big thing with this is that this is our launch. This is our soft launch essentially, and it's part of setting ourselves up for our large launch, which is going to be happening in June this year, and we're going to be taking this worldwide. So this is our soft launch. We're going to be working with just a handful of people, and basically holding your hand and making sure that this is profitable and actually works for you, because you are going to be becoming our testimonial. So I'm really kind of picky about who we're working with, because I want to feel really confident that we can make this work for you. We're going to be having some people run the profit model, some people are going to be running the gift model, but you're going to learn all of the techniques to run both, so that at any one time in the future you can pull out whichever one you want, and we run both of those models as well. So 8-week online coaching. We're going to obviously bring in all of our years of trial and error of actually getting this working to the level that it is. And what we've done is we've been over the last 8 to 10 months really systemizing and putting this into templates and into something that's so simple and easy to be able to roll out, and that we can just give you all of those things, so that you don't have to guess and you don't have to try and start anything from scratch. You've got templates to use. You've got examples of exact examples of the marketing that we've used for each one of our clients, and you can just take that and craft it around what you have. So that's essentially what we've put together, and we're rolling that out right now. So that's interesting, things that are jumping all around. So what is what you get? You get the actual profit formula, which is all of the different steps in actually putting this together, which is going to create you a highly successful competition. And that includes the matrix and everything else. As I said, we give you all of the actual funnel templates. We've got those in ClickFunnels right now, but you can just duplicate them into whatever system you've got, be it WordPress or OptimizePress or Lead Pages, whatever it might be. You can just take those. We'll give you those templates to use and just manipulate. And basically, all you're going to be doing is changing headers, putting some of your content in, and changing the design style essentially of that without actually designing something new. All of our template promotional and follow-up emails, stuff that we've been working with for literally the last 1.5 years, and just tweaking so that the whole process is at a point where if you just take those emails as they are, all those templates, you're going to get the best result of people coming through that funnel and engaging and enrolling through this process. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, then we give you the templates, and we help you script up your sales scripts, so that when you're having a conversation, it's an effortless, it's a guiding, it's a nurturing conversation, and it doesn't sound scripted. It's because it's really a guide just to keep you on track, so that you don't go too far off and lose the client because quite often, a lot of us actually aren't great in sales. So this gives you a guide to follow, and it's hugely valuable and hugely helpful for anybody, no matter if you're a salesperson or not. And then our weekly coaching sessions, which are over those 8 weeks, every single week for 60 minutes, we get together. And I bring in my team exactly when they need to be there. So I'll bring my partner team in there, I'll bring my sales team in, I'll bring my development team, so that you can learn from them, and they can share with you their insights and help you on that call, script up things that are going to work really, really well for you. We give you all the sales training videos. Now, this is hugely valuable, no matter who you are in business. If you're looking to build a funnel, you know that video is hugely powerful. So we give you a whole scripting and video training on how to actually stand powerfully and present on video, so that you look great and professional, and people really connect in with that. So that's hugely valuable, no matter if you're running this or not. And this one here, which is at $1,000, I think it's ridiculous. What I should have put $10,000 on, because this is the training around how you really engage and work with profitable partners, and how do you attract them to you? What's the conversation? What is it that they see the value in working with you on? And then all the tools required. Now we give you guidance on all those tools. We don't actually give you all the tools, but we give you guidance on exactly the tools that you're going to need to use based on your specific level of your business, the specific industry potentially that you're in, and we'll guide you on that to show you what's going to work effortlessly for you. And it can be as simple as, like I'm a new business, I've got Aweber and I've got lead pages. Great, we'll show you how to make that work. Or I'm quite more advanced, I've got Infusionsoft and using different things with that, and we'll guide you on how to make that work. Or I don't have any systems, and we'll guide you on that, or whatever it might be. So we really get clear and work with you in finding the right systems. And again, simple is better. Keep it simple, especially when you're rolling out the first ones, just to kind of feel comfortable around actually doing that, rather than getting caught up in the tech side of it. So all of that, which showed up right up in the beginning, is $13,200 in value, in just all of what we put into this. And of course, we're holding your hand all the way through this to make sure, again, that you're successful, because my number one outcome for this is you as a testimonial on the screen, so I can be showing other people this is where they're at, they ran the competition, and this is the result they got, and all of the intricacies of how you did that, and potentially it would be fabulous to get video of you talking about your experience as well with that. So now that's all part of this. The other one I want to throw in here, which is the competition gift model as a bonus. So for anybody who's new in business, this is the process that we've used to grow our audience and our partner base quite effortlessly. And we now do this every year, and we get paid for doing it. So this is a process where we basically invite a whole bunch of partners to partner with us. We bring together a whole bunch of prizes between them and ourselves, and basically we then put that together, and we go out to all of our markets, and we basically finish that with essentially hundreds or thousands of people registered, and there's a funnel process, a conversion funnel process that you can then follow, that actually gets people eventually to a place where you can actually make them an offer and potentially sell them something. But essentially this is a cold market, or relatively cold market style model, which is so it's hugely valuable for you to run, and to create partnerships on a really high value process and event. So this is for me, it's invaluable on how this works, and can grow your network if you don't have anyone yet, or grow your partnerships if you haven't got any partnerships right now. So that's one of the bonuses. Just quickly, I want to just play a little video from Tyler. Here's one of the examples that I used earlier, where we've done about $270,000 in sales for his for the program that he has. And this was the video just after that one that we ran from him a couple of years ago.
Hey guys, this is Tyler Tolman here, and I just wanted to take a minute to take my hat off, not that I'm wearing one, for my good friend John Abbott and his team. I just want to give you a little bit of information behind these guys. Fantastic team to work with, by the way. I run programs here in Bali, big juice fast, 7-day programs, 30-day programs. I have online products, a bunch of different things that I offer to the world. And, you know, John Abbott's been a good friend of mine for a very long time. He approached me and just said, hey, you know, why don't we work together on some campaigns, essentially for creating some sales type of stuff to get out to your database, your network. And so he came in, literally him and his team came in and sat down with me and my team and just brainstormed. And these guys are absolutely brilliant. Like, just the input that they put in with our own business. We actually named one of our programs during the time we had with them, looking at pricing and structures and all these different things. You know, it was really invaluable to sit down and have conversations with these guys who are obviously highly versed in the business that they do. Very knowledgeable and fun to work with. You know, really amazing guys, big open hearts. I really felt great working with them because the feedback I got from my customers made me feel like not only was I, you know, going out and marketing and creating new sales for my business, but I was actually, you know, my customers were connecting on a really powerful level and sending me even emails like, thank you so much for running this competition. So it was like fantastic. Not only are people loving this and having a connection, but they were also buying into programs. And, you know, we've sold, I'm not even sure, you know, probably around $200,000 worth of sales and a couple of little campaigns that we did. Yeah, working with these guys has been fantastic. I highly recommend working with these guys. We're definitely going to be producing other competitions and things in the future, working together. Definitely a good team to work with. It's just been easy flowing and a lot of fun. So.
Cool. Thank you, Tyler. So really what I wanted to do was, given that this is the first, I wanted to add some bonuses on here. And one of them, I started off this conversation early on saying that if you stick around to the end, you'll find out how you can get or have me potentially promoting you and your business to my database of 25,000 people. So one of those bonuses, the second bonus I want to throw in here, you know, the gift model is our first one. The second one I actually want to say is, you know, for the first two people who kind of come along on this journey with us from this call, I really want to support you on this. I want to make sure that, you know, you have the registrations, you have the people coming in. Our database is in general business owners. We have a large database in the health and the spiritual side of things, and we have, you know, people in investment and property, you know, large, you know, very well nurtured database of that. So I want to put my hand up and say, this is the way I support you, and also, you know, making sure that this is a success for you. So, you know, that's something. I don't do this for anyone, by the way, but I want to do it for the people who come along and come on this journey, because, you know, this is the level of trust that I need to have in you, that, you know, that you're the kind of person that I want to work with, and you know, given that is the fact, then I want to make sure that, you know, you're promoted and you're, you know, in front of the eyeballs of the people that are listening to the stuff that I do as well. And then I want to throw in another bonus as well, which is something that I absolutely love doing is shining the light on, you know, illuminating you know, people and connecting people to my database. So as a special bonus, and again, just for a couple of people, I really want to be able to sit with you and work with you and find out who and consider who in my network I could connect you with, and open up my Rolodex and give you an introduction. And that might be 1, or might be 10 people, might be, you know, more. So, you know, we have partners who work with us with you know, across so many different industries, because we've really worked in and with people who do so many different things as well, that I want to open this up as a bonus, that I'll sit personally with you, and we'll find some people who would be absolutely perfect partners for you to be working with. So not only, you know, market out to our database for your competition, but, you know, do some personal introductions for you. And you know, I know that that's probably one of the biggest values I can bring to any conversation, because that's, you know, it's something that I do naturally, and you know, I have people connecting with me saying, hey, John, do you know somebody who can do this? What else? So I already do that, as a day in, day out type of thing. So I'd love to do that for you as well. So those are the bonus that I want to really put forward. So just to go through that again, it's the 8-week live program. All of our success and failures brought in there so that you don't have to make them. And the process, all of those templates that we're throwing in. So the formula that we worked out, the templates funnel for the website, so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, you don't even have to get a design team in. You can just get somebody who can just do that really, really simply for you, or we can show you somebody who does that. Templates on all of the emails, so you don't have to try and write them all and work out, the titles and the way that it needs to flow, and all of the high converting sales scripts. Just being able to have really powerful, heart-centered sales conversations, because that's really where we come from. This is not about a hard sale, pushing people into anything. This is really a conversation that really is a natural conversation that people get to the end of the conversation and say, how do I get going? How do I get started? Weekly coaching sessions with us. That's 60 minutes every single week. Of course, that there's a whole bunch of things that we're going to be giving you every week to do, so that every week we're checking in with you. So we're holding you accountable, we're giving you direction, and we're sitting with you, making sure that you're on target and on track. Our entire sales video training, which is the training to show you how to actually make your videos for the introduction, all those types of things, all up front. Our profitable partner training, which is invaluable in how you actually go to partners, how you put a proposal to a partner, and you create a valuable reason for them to actually want to work with you. That training on its own is, for me, it's priceless. And all of those tools, making sure that you've got the right tools and the most simple tools that you need to use to run that. So that's what it is. It's that plus all those bonuses thrown in. Some of them obviously just for a couple of people who want to just jump on and get that together. The full program, the bonuses, really at $6,000 would be highly valuable, and that's kind of where we're going to be selling this. When I go on tour from June on this year, that's the number I'm going to be putting up on screen for people to actually do that, because I'm going to have all of those testimonials. Besides all the testimonials I have from my current clients that I've worked with, I'll have all the testimonials of the people who have come through this program with me in this process and have that success. So I'm going to be feeling very, very comfortable at $6,000 to be putting that up, for people to be able to come on board and actually learn the process, essentially one that you would have pioneered with me on the show. So you're not going to pay that. What I'd love to do is take half of that away and for their full investment of the program, including all of those bonuses, at a really affordable price of $2,997. This is Australian dollars, not US dollars. I've decided this time, because we've got a number of Australian people on our calls, that I wanted to keep it in an Aussie dollar. So for the first time pretty much ever, I've changed my payment into an Aussie dollar number, so $2,997, or 3 payments of $999 in Australian. You can do that over 3 months, or you can work out with me what's going to work best for you. And also, when once you pay that first payment on the payment plan, you're in and you start straight away with me. So we don't wait for you to finish the payments before we get you into the training. So that's essentially what it is. However, I spoke with the team and they went, well, what if we could even give some more off, just for the first people. So before we even give that, I want to give you this guarantee. If for any reason during our first consultation, I'll have a consultation with everybody who comes along. Again, it's just a handful of people I'm taking through on this first one. And we've already got 4 people already signed up. So I'm really only looking for a couple more people to join this first pilot. So for any reason, during the initial consultation session, you feel that it is not for you, or it's quite a simple conversation. We'll just give you your money back. It's that simple. So that is my guarantee to you, that we'll sit down, we'll go through this. But I'm only going to have those conversations with people who actually go through the process and say, I'm ready for this, and that you put your money down and you go, I'm serious. If you know that this is for you, then that's great. Then don't worry about it. Then let's just get you going. But feel really, really safe in knowing that if for any reason we're in that conversation, you go, I don't think this is going to work for me for whatever reason. I'm not even going to quibble. It's just your money back. So I worked with the team this week, and they said, John, let's do this at a no-brainer. So let's even take off some more money just to make it even easier for everybody. Let's bring it down to the 2495, so take another $500 off that. And really, I'm doing that for the next two people, because essentially that's all I'm looking for. The only people I'm looking for to join this right now is that investment from you. And we're there to support you through this whole process. So if that's something that is really exciting for you, you're sitting there, you've looked at how this can work for your business, you've considered how you could actually build up your prizes, you've kind of seen this process that I've followed, you've seen the success that we've had, and you'd like to actually use this and integrate into your business, then here's the opportunity to do that with our product group, where we're going to be live and interactive on all of those. Of course, in future, those are going to be primarily recorded sessions. So know that this is the only one that we're going to be doing this way. So I'm looking for a couple more people to join that product group, and you can do that just by going to productgroup.competitionprofitmodel.com. Let me actually click on that and just open that link up so you can see that. And this is the page over here. These are the three primary people that you'll get to meet on the call. Myself, Josh Roberts, who runs our sales and looks after the culture of our company. Really amazing guy. He also works with our top end clients and on their projects. And Patrick, who is essentially our sales leader, he comes up and he works out all those scripts and the beautiful languaging around the things that he does that you can use for the sales side. So those are your mentors, the primary mentors that you'll meet. We'll meet some other people as well, but these are the primary people who will be on a number of the calls. All of what I've spoken about is all in here. Basically, if you want to pop in and just have a look at this and decide that this may be something for you, and then this is the time to do that. So what I want to also do is put an additional guarantee on. Once you've actually gone through and you're actually in the process and you're doing it, if for any reason you get to the end of the program and you still haven't actually made a profit, or you haven't actually got back in value from the perspective of how you've been able to enroll partners and get your database building or whatever, if you haven't done that in that first session, then I welcome you to come back to the next session and sit in it until you get it right. So that for me is far better than at that level saying, hey, I want to give your money back, because people actually want a return for that money and then the time that they've invested. So once you're in the program and you're running through that, when you get to the end of it, if you go, well, geez, I didn't actually roll that off, and whatever happened or whatever showed up, then just come back to the next one and just let me know so that we can schedule that with you. And that's it. Pop your details in there. Again, we'll set up the first conversation with you, hit complete, and essentially, within the next few days, it will be Monday, Singapore time or Bali time. We'll set up a call with you and go through setting this up for you, go through how this would work for you, evaluate your business, see if it is the right kind of fit. Again, I'm only looking for certain kinds of people, and it's going to be a lot about the person as well as obviously the business. But I'm really looking for people who are really committed and know that if they're making a commitment like this, they're actually going to get in there and they're going to do what it takes to make this work, because that's what we're showing up to do. So we'd love you to be part of that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing the journey with me today over the last hour and a half. I want to acknowledge you for that investment. I know it's probably Friday night if you're in the US, or Saturday morning. So thank you for doing that and taking the time out. Looking forward to your application. Looking forward to talking to you about that and seeing how this can work for you and your business. And most of all, seeing your success and using your testimonials as we roll this out from this year on. So Thanks again. See you soon. Have a magical weekend.